the relevant what? Software and soft skills. Like, for example, you are good in Excel. You put it there. What part of Excel are you good at? Some of us will write customer skills management. What type of skills do we have there? There are things, there are courses on these things that makes you skillful. If you don't know them, it's not bad for you to enroll in some diploma courses online. Now I think I did a course recently. The course was supposed to be for 2 months because I had time. During those times, I was in the north. Within 2 weeks, and I had free data. Within 2 weeks, I was done with that course, and I got my certificate. We must understand, get skills. If you know you are not skills about a job, go and get skills on them. And I hope God will help us in Jesus' name. So, lastly, what are the additional things that can be in our CV? Some of those things is a certification. Some CV might require your language and your what? The works you have volunteered to do. Praise God. Please, are we with me? Am I making sense, please? Okay. So, certification. What year did you earn it? I had to put, in my job role for an administrator, I had to put my certificate of student union government there. I hope you understand me. Under my certification, I put my certificate that I was formerly a vice president of a student union government. So that you know, in Ekiti State University, because we have population, so that you know that during this year, I was able to manage some crowd. So that you know that, this person is not now, he has been doing what? Administrative work. If you have certifications that fit to those jobs role, you put them there. And it will make sense when people are saying, some people will put certification of when they won trophy as a footballer, and they are applying for a role for a web developer. How does he colorate? He does not colorate though. Please, we should always make sure we do the right thing. So what are the key considerations as we round up? What are the key considerations when we are tailoring our CV? The key consideration. The key consideration number 1. When we talk about tailoring, we said customize your CV for each job application by incorporating what? Keywords from the job description. By incorporating keywords from the what? Job description. That's the reason why many people who does not look at job description very well before applying. They will just see that, you go for accountant. They will just jump and apply. But there are some key points, responsibility that are attached there. All those things are expected to be what? Incorporated in tailoring your CV. Number 2 is action verbs. Start bulletin point with strong action words like managed, developed, increased. Some people will say, I am good. I am good. I am committed. I was successful. I hope you understand. That's not actually the right way to start all these words. It should start with an action verb. Managed, increased, developed, or for example, I'm trying to apply as a marketer. Increased my portfolio from 2,000 to what? 4,000. That's a key point. Those things attract, especially when you are applying for a role as a marketer. Those things attract. So they gave you a 2,000 portfolio. You were able to increase it to 4,000. It makes sense for that kind of role. So we should always be very mindful of this. And one of the things many people does not do is what? Proofread. Check your spellings and grammar errors. One of the reasons why we don't look at those things, some of us, we don't look at those things here, is that, do you know that when I was writing that CV for the person, I had to go and change my system to UK now, because if I write it with USA English, they would tell the person that he was wrong. All these things, we don't take it into consideration. Even if I ask us now that which type of English do we use in Nigeria, some of us does not even know. Talk less of writing it in those standards. And if you are trying to apply into multinational companies, all these things are always being checked thoroughly. So we must always look at for our spelling, grammar error that can negatively what? Impact the perception. All those things does not prove that we are professional, that we know what we are doing. I pray God will help us in Jesus' name. So as I round up, let me just show us an example of how a CV should look like. Of how a CV should look like. Please, the next slide. Now, look at how this... Now, if we look at it, can we see? Can we see that? We can see that he's well aligned. Not that one is coming to the west, another one is going to the east, another one is going to the north, another one is going to the south. You will notice that each of those headings were what? Were well alighted. So that if I'm trying to look for somebody that wants to interview us, might not be interested in your contact first. It might be the first thing he wants to look at is your experience. Maybe it's after he sees that person experienced what it. That's when he will like, let me check his contacts. So most times we don't know. Many of these organizations, their first thing that comes to their mind. For example, my boss now, once he looks at your CV, the first thing that comes to his mind is that he wants to see how you tailor your address. Because one of the things about our own job is that address, your residence is what? Is key. So all these things we must know. And I knew this before I applied for such a job. So when he was asking me something like, how much will be your cost of transportation to where you are, I knew what to say because I already made research of what they used to look out for in that organization when you submit a CV. Many of us, we submit a CV to organization, we don't even know what they used to look out for. We can just look at randomly, what do you think that these people will look out for first? Some people will not look at your experience first. They will go and look at your skills to know if your skills align to the job role. I pray the Lord Almighty would help us in Jesus' name. So with these little points, I will be rounding up here. So if there's any question, we can do well to ask when the time is required of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oyesanya. That was a beautiful section. I know that in one way or the other, we have all learned how to write our CV. Even we that we have CVs before, we've seen the common mistakes we are doing in CV and why we've not been getting that call back. Shortly, we would be watching a little video on our interviews. So I urge us to watch, pick one or two information in this before we have our next section.
And the hiring manager who you really are. Maybe you're talking too fast and muddling all of your words, or your mind is completely blank. You're nervous, and because of that, you sabotage. You're not develop interview confidence. Learning to manage your nerves is essential to be able to perform well in an interview. But there are also a number of other elements. You're in the interview room. All eyes are on you. Your palms are sweaty, your voice is quivering, your face is flushed. Your heart is racing. Maybe you're talking too fast and muddling all of your words, or your mind is completely blank. You're nervous, and because of that, you sabotage. You're not able to convey to the interviewer and the hiring manager who you really are and everything you know you can contribute to the role and the company. This is why it's so important to develop interview confidence. Learning to manage your nerves is essential to be able to perform well in an interview. But there are also a number of other elements which are really important to be aware of and actively manage so that you can be your most confident self and impress the hiring manager. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 steps to performing well in an interview to make sure that you're presenting yourself in the most confident way, which will absolutely increase your chances of impressing the interviewer and the hiring manager and actually securing the role.
Hi, I'm Sade Zarai, and I help professionals to hack their careers, overcome their limiting beliefs, and confidently create the extraordinary life they deserve.
It's entirely normal to feel nervous before and even during a job interview. It might come from the fact that you really, really want the job and you know that you have to perform under pressure. Or you might be someone who's just naturally an introvert and naturally shy, which makes it even more challenging. So here are 3 of my favorite tips to help you next time you're in a position to present yourself confidently for a new job or even an opportunity at work. Step 1, be aware of what you're telling yourself beforehand. How you actually perform on interview day is largely linked to what you're telling yourself before the interview. Are you telling yourself that you're not good enough? That you don't have what it takes? That you'll say something silly and will mess up the whole thing? Maybe that you'll be asked something that you won't know the answer to. Imposter syndrome, self-doubt, lack of confidence, whatever you want to call it, it has to stop. These thought processes influence your neurochemistry, which impacts how you feel. How you feel then influences how you show up and will shape your outcome. So you need to back yourself 100%. Tell yourself that you've got this, that you'll present yourself exceptionally well. You'll be confident and project the best possible version of you. It starts with your mindset and the thoughts that are running around in your head. One useful hack here is, before you actually go into the interview, prime your mind by focusing on positive thoughts. Take some time to actually recall when in the past you were able to create a successful outcome in a situation at work. Remember what that felt like and embody that emotion of satisfaction in your ability to deliver. Research that was published in the Journal of Sport and Exercise Psychology found that athletes who used positive and motivational self-talk actually performed better than those who didn't. And another study found that positive self-talk actually improved self-confidence. Step 2, use the expert approach. In my years working as a strategy consultant, both in-house and consulting a range of companies in different industries, I became very used to the experience of being in a new environment with a new client where I had to basically figure out what they needed and what their pain points were, and then pitch my recommendations on how I could deliver what they were after. So what I recommend for you is to visualize yourself as the expert. You have the skills and the requirements that they need help with, and to help them with whatever they're looking to achieve. And don't worry if you're missing some of what might be in the job description or the requirements. You can learn whatever else you need to on the job using your skills of flexibility, adaptability, and resourcefulness. But when you go into that interview, picture yourself as the expert, with the hiring manager or the interviewer being like a new client you're exploring. You want to be able to line up your skills and your strengths and articulate how these link to what the client is looking for. So what you want to do is actually share what you could do for them. What would you change, or what recommendations might you make for how they could actually improve their processes or how they run their business? When you actually embrace your expert self, articulate what you can do for the company, and speak with absolute confidence, you'll position yourself as the best suited person for the role or the opportunity. And your confidence and your credibility will shine through. Number 3, use the power of persuasion. In his book, Persuasion, Dr. Robert Cialdini shares more about this concept and how to use it for your benefit when trying to influence someone. And it's actually a brilliant tip when it comes to interviews. What we've been conditioned to think we should say in an interview as soon as it starts is, "Thank you so much for inviting me and for the opportunity to be here. I'm really looking forward to answering your questions." But here's what Robert Cialdini would recommend from the standpoint of a persuasive orientation. He would recommend to say that if it feels natural and if you're feeling very confident, to add, "Before we begin, I wonder if you can answer a question. Why did you invite me to the interview today? What was it about my application that stood out and is attractive to you and the company? Now, I know it might seem very non-conventional, and it is, but it's very powerful because what you're actually doing here is something called persuasion to prompt the interviewer to focus their thinking on all the features of your resume and your application that's most attractive to them. So, you've shifted their thinking to focus on your positive aspects and what makes you the ideal candidate even before the interview has really started. And I have a bonus tip for you too. A really common mistake a lot of people make during interviews is that they focus so much on themselves. But the reality is, an interview is not really about you. It's about what the company you're interviewing for wants in you. So, your focus should be on what the company is looking for and how you meet that. It's also really good practice to have some questions up your sleeve and actually ask the interviewer and the hiring manager, and then allow the conversation to evolve based on what they say. This will make it seem far more organic. And finally, make sure you view it as an opportunity to actually interview them about whether it's a place you really want to work at. You can ask them about the company culture, what they enjoy most about their job, their challenges, and anything else that might be important to you. Remember, you're scoping them out just as much as they're scoping you out. You want to make sure it's the right fit for you where you'll actually be happy, because if you're successful, you'll be spending a lot of time there. Performing well in interviews is an art, but it starts with changing your mindset. I've had so many clients get results just from changing their mindset and applying the 3 steps above to their interview approach. In the comments, let me know what you thought of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you hit the little bell icon so that you're notified when I next share a video. It really helps support the channel.
Okay, I think that was quite insightful, if you agree with me. So, I want to, okay, good evening, everyone. Let me start by saying my name is Mrs. Esedafe Dokas. I would have loved to push Elijah, but Pastor is looking at me. So, let me just leave it as Mrs. Esedafe Dokas. And I would be speaking on 2 things: right outfit for interview and interview posture. But before we go into that, I want to share something with us, something Pastor Mrs. would have shared with us, but she had to go. And it is still on CV. 2 things. I'm delivering message right now, so I'm delivering 2 things she said, and I agree. Maximizing AI in this time will do a lot of good for us. Now, all these things about CV, all you need to do is pick the CV you have and pick the job description, put it on ChatGPT, and tell ChatGPT to tailor your CV according to this job description. It's going to do it for you, and you will get a CV that you want it in PDF or in Word. But where you will now do the human effort is to now go back and read and make sure you remove all those machine languages that ChatGPT would have done. So that way, you have your CV in less than 10 minutes, fast and accurate. I don't know if that makes sense to us. Then secondly, if imagine a case whereby you are applying to a multinational company, and truthfully, you have more than 10,000, 5,000 applicants that are applying for that particular job. We all know in our mind, in all sincerity, that nobody will sit down and start reviewing CVs one by one. So there are links, there are sites where even HR personnel will upload your CV, and they will select the ones that pass their cutoff mark before they now start reviewing. And one of those links, this is why we should attend things like this. One of those links is what we'll be sharing with us right now. This is a cheat code for you. Once you're done with your CV, just upload it on the site. Can we have the barcode, please? Please scan this. I believe we all have phone. Please scan this. So the way this link works, when we are done scanning, let me know so I can display how it works and explain to us. Are we done? Can I proceed? Okay. Just open your camera. We are all using smartphone. Oh. Just open your camera, your phone camera, place it. You're going to see that your camera will try to capture it and it will display the link. Just your internet must be connected, please. Ensure your internet, and Google Lens can do it. Is there a phone that cannot do it at this time? Really? I'm sorry. Oh. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just learning this. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought all the phones I've used can do it. So I'm sorry. I actually thought all can do it. Because so I want to be like, my mentor. I want to be like you when I grow up. So are we good now? We are also going to make sure the link goes to every one of us. So the way this link works, when you open it, it's going to ask you to upload your resume and upload the job description you're applying for. Please, Adeni, can you help me with the image for this? Please, I'm waiting. So basically, let me move on before it comes. It's going to ask you to upload your resume and upload the job description you're trying to apply for. It will run and then give you a percentage of if your CV has passed for that particular job or not. Here we have it. So you're going to upload your CV when you click on resume, and when you click on the job description, you're going to paste the job description that you have gotten, and it will read. We can see that for this particular person, it has read 76%, meaning for your CV to pass, you need to have minimum of 70%. So it means this person has done well. Now let's look at what it says. Searchability, 1 issue to fix. It has indicated it there. Hard skills, 2 issues to fill. Soft skills, 2 issues to fill. Recruiter tips is showing that this person is good. Formatting, I think our first speaker explained format to us. Formatting, it says it has 5 issues to fix. That could be like you've used different types of fonts in one. And some of us are fond of making that mistake. When we are editing, we don't check the fonts that we are using and the size. We use different fonts. That's when you will see somebody have used is it Alpha, Lee, or what they call, and you have used Calibra, and you have used several fonts in one CV. But also, you know that whatever this thing, it also has a pro that can go ahead and specify the issue, break it down more. But I think we really don't need the pro. This has gone far. It's just for you to go back to the CV and fix the issue. That will be all on that. So, can I have the image of the appearances, please? I want to speak on interview appearances. Most of us go for interview. You've passed the stage of CV. Your CV is fine. You've been called for the job. Please, can we speak about these men? How do they look? Culture. Japanese. No, not their face. Their appearance. Their look. They dress corporately. All of them. Who are those that are not dressing corporate? Who are dressing? The person on brown, is not corporate. Really? Are you sure? That's why he's not corporate. Are you sure you can't wear to an interview? Let's move on. Who else is not looking corporate? No tie. Okay. Oh, why is it wrong? He's wearing tie now. He's wearing suit. Suited. Okay. So the first person actually is casual corporate. If I'm applying for a role of an engineer on the site, this works. Because you're not wearing suit as an engineer. So it could make sense to an employer. But if you're applying for the role of like an accountant, they will not even look at you twice because you do not appeal to the role. The person using more flag, if he's applying in India, it might, because it's their culture. But if he's applying in Nigeria, where is the code? And it's looking more like somebody attending an Indian wedding in corporate than somebody appearing for a job. I think there should be another image. Is this guy corporate? Is he corporate? Yes or no? This guy would have been fine if he had worn a trouser that does not have a belt hole. He's wearing a trouser that has a belt hole, but he is not wearing a belt. And that is making his dress off. And then there's another mistake men. I'm sorry, just permit me to just say it. There are mistakes men do. You wear black belt and wear brown shoe. You wear, it's not a style. It's actually dressing wrong. You wear brown shoe, you wear black belt. And I don't know. I think the new trend now, you wear suit and you wear sneakers. I don't know who taught men that dressing, but I don't think it's interview worthy. I don't think it's interview worthy. Hey, you might decide to wear it on your wedding day like that, it's your day. But when you want to go and apply for work, it speaks, your appearance speaks a lot about you. Can we move to the women, please? I think it does, but depending on what he's wearing, he could have worn a tie and a belt and his dressing would have been perfect. If he had had a tie on and a belt, and please, let's be careful of the color we use when we wear tie. You're wearing a striped shirt, you're putting a stripe, what's it called? A striped tie. Or you're wearing a pink shirt and you're putting a purple, sorry, person is wearing pink. You are wearing a pink shirt, you are wearing a purple tie. Please, it doesn't align. Check your colors. Don't be careful with the color. Don't be too flashy with your colors. Don't be too flashy with your colors. Try and minimize the color. When you are dealing with children, you can be colorful. But this is the interview. Try and minimize the colors. Don't be too flashy. Then please, let's look at these ladies. Are they all looking casual or corporate? Are they good to go for interviews? Nobody is answering. I'm asking a question. Are they good to go for interviews? Why? Somebody said no. Please, why? No. Mike, nah. Shape. Where is the shape you are seeing here? I actually don't think her dress is fitted. Okay. Do we have any other female image? What about this lady? The trouser is, thank you. The trouser is fitted too, but they said perfect. The trouser is quite fitted, but somebody responded perfect. Okay, so for ladies, one, for you to go for an interview, you don't have to expose yourself. Ensure that you are well covered and at the same time decent. Point. You don't necessarily have to wear something that will sweep the floor, but when you sit, you should be able to be comfortable. You're not looking for a handkerchief to cover your leg. When you sit and you're wearing skirt or you're wearing a gown, you shouldn't be looking for maybe handkerchief or something you're now trying to cross leg, cross this thing. You should be comfortable. And it's not necessarily, sweeping the floor, but then comfortable and well covered. You don't have to expose yourself to get to talk. A very good dress. Another mistake we used to make, in fact, two things. Now, when going for an interview, avoid very much sweating badly. I had an incident when in my undergraduate days, my first